Hello, all. Today we will be uncovering healing powers. The healing powers, cosmic band-aids, and soul-level shenanigans healing powers. Just saying the phrase makes me want to don a glittery cape and announce myself as Dr. Feelbetter, licensed in both herbal teas and sass. But let's be honest, healing isn't about waving a wand and poof, no more pain. It's about remembering that we're walking bundles of stardust, duct tape, and ancestral whispers, trying to patch ourselves together with equal parts laughter and ritual. The mythic medicine cabinet forgets CVS. The real medicine cabinet is mythic. Dragons remind us that fire burns away what no longer serves. Goddesses whisper that self-love is the most potent potion. Ancestors hand down resilience like heirloom recipes, though sometimes with questionable seasoning. And scripture adds its own balm. But I will restore you to health and heal your wounds, declares the Lord. Jeremiah 30-17. That's divine duct tape right there. Humor is holy salve. Ever notice how laughter feels like a spell? It's the sound of your soul unclenching. Humor is the sneaky healer that slips past defenses. A good belly laugh is basically a spiritual exorcism, minus the Latin chanting and pea soup. Even the Psalms agree. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147-3. Sometimes the binding looks like a joke that cracks you open just enough to let the light in. Rituals that rewire. Healing powers thrive in ritual. Light a candle, whisper a prayer, dance like nobody's watching, except your cat, who is definitely judging. Rituals remind us that healing isn't passive, it's participation. James 5:14-15 reminds us that prayer and oil are the OG essential oils. Is anyone among you sick? Let them call the elders. And the prayer offered in faith will make the sick person well. Rituals, whether ancient or modern, are invitations to believe in the possibility of renewal. Sovereignty as medicine. Here's the kicker. Healing powers aren't about fixing others. They're about reclaiming your own sovereignty, protecting your spirit from manipulation, saying, I am not your project, I am my own miracle. Mark 9:23 backs you up. Everything is possible for one who believes. That's not just scripture, it's a manifesto for spiritual rebels everywhere. Healing affirmation. I am a miracle in motion. My wounds are not my weakness, they are the soil where my strength grows. With laughter as my medicine, ritual as my rhythm, and faith as my fire, I believe in my healing. Everything is possible for one who believes, Mark 9:23. In short, healing powers are less about magic tricks and more about remembering your own magic. They're laughter in the dark, rituals in the chaos, boundaries wrapped in myth. And when you wield them with wit and wonder, you don't just heal, you transform. Need more help? Check out the pros, healers, and spiritualists. Thanks for watching. DPC.